In this video, I'm going to run you through the 3 things that you need in order to make automated sales while you sleep as an online coach, creator, or consultant. Now, when we hear of sales in your sleep, automated sales, waking up to a notification that someone has made a payment to you or Stripe, that sometimes sounds like it's something that is too good to be true. And trust me, it does feel too good to be true. Just this morning, I woke up, I spent 24 hours on a digital detox. I usually do that on the weekends. And I came back to my phone about 2 hours ago and was surprised to notice that somebody had actually bought one of my products and had actually gone into the funnel, which will eventually turn them into a paying client if, of course, they get what they need from the product that they bought. So I'm here to tell you, firstly, this is possible. It's definitely not easy, but it's pretty simple and straightforward in terms of what you need to actually get to a point where you can make sales while you sleep. Now, first I want to talk just a little bit about, actually, let me tell you why you should listen to me first, because maybe you're new to the channel and you don't know me and you're like, why should I even listen to this guy? So I've been in online business for the last 7 years. I started in 2019. And this year, 2025, I went full-time online in 2020. This year, 2025, is my 6th year in online business. So I'm 5.5 years full-time, earning money from a laptop, traveling around beautiful Europe. I'm in Sofia right now, enjoying the sun. This video will be short, by the way, because it's quite hot, and I probably won't manage more than about 15 minutes before I need to go and cool down. So I've done this for quite some time. I've been through the ringer. I had 50 fitness clients. I had a business model that I hated, working 8-10 hours a day. I was only acquiring clients through DMs and through mass volume and through basically my output, and every unit of time I would put in would get a certain amount of revenue or a certain number of clients back. And it was just a very unscalable approach to business. I didn't know it at the time, but it wasn't actually a business. It was basically an overpaid job. Because as soon as I stopped working, the potential for the business to grow or for people to come and work with me and sign up basically stopped as well. That is not the case these days. I have changed my model. I've changed the way I look at online business. I really see myself as an entrepreneur versus a coach these days. And I now help coaches to make more money, make more money in a more fulfilling way, of course, as well, unlock more free time, and basically build that laptop lifestyle that they want. That doesn't mean, yes, you can work from a laptop, but you got to now sit, 8 or 10 or 12 hours at a screen doing check-ins, and you've effectively just got a higher paying job. That's not what this is about. This is about basically building the life that you want. And automated sales is a really, really cool thing to finally crack. Now, I don't even do that much in terms of automated sales. It's, a couple every month. But it's part of a bigger sales process. So the product, and I'll explain to you what this system looks like, but the product that I make the automated sales on is not the product I make my money on. And it's not the product that builds the business, but it's like a first step in the funnel to bringing people towards being a client. And so for me, I'm relatively early on in the automated sales journey and the process of actually building something. But I've really realized that a business is something that works while you're not around. And if you don't have something that can work and generate money and generate new clients and customers while you're not around, it's not a business. And it takes a while to get to that point. And there's, like I mentioned, those 3 things that we need to look at. But you can make automated sales. You can wake up to notifications in your Stripe or in your Kit account or whatever different software you use to make those sales. And it's a lot more straightforward than you think. I don't want to say the word easy because there's definitely some work. But it's straightforward, it's simple. Anyone can do it with a bit of time and a bit of effort. So watch till the end of this video and I'll explain exactly how. There's 3 steps. And it's not what you think. Everyone is like, what is the tech that I need? What is the piece of software that I need? What should I, host should I use Shopify? Should I use a sales page? They're always wondering about the how versus the actual why people would buy the thing in the first place. And this is the most important part. So first and foremost, we need to actually identify the problem that we're solving. So with any product or service or thing that we sell, if we're selling the product or the service, that is going to be a lot harder to sell than if we're selling a solution to a specific problem. So the very first thing we need to do is to identify what is the problem that we're solving and who are we solving it for and what is the way that we solve it. So for me, I help coaches to solve the problem of not making enough money, not having enough time, not having the freedom, and even when they do make money, a lot of them come to me because they've made money but they're not happy with the model and they now have 50 clients, they don't enjoy it, they're not fulfilled, they're not connected to their clients, and they've kind of been sold a dream in a sense, and they've built a business that doesn't align with them. In order to grow, they just have to send more DMs, they have to try and go viral, they have to get more attention, they're dancing on reels like, you know, clowns to try and get attention, and it's just not aligned with them. It's not what they wanted to build, and now they're kind of caught in this where they're like, if I don't keep doing this shit, my business doesn't grow. And that is not business, right? That's a very entry level business. It's not actually what builds a business. The CEOs of Amazon are not jumping around creating TikTok videos or dancing around in a bra or a chef's hat or something like that, right? So those are the things that, you know, I want you to kind of keep in mind. This is really focused on building the business, and business building is problem solving, and then scaling business is scaling the problems that you solve. And if you don't know what problem you solve and for who, and you can't actually show them the effect you can have in their lives, they're never going to buy anything from you unless they're maybe a close friend or, you know, friend of a friend or a colleague, and they're like, yeah, I want this fitness thing, but I'll just buy it from you because you're convenient and you're nearby. If you actually want to be able to grow a business and scale, you need to problem solve at scale, and you need to be really, really clear on what that is. So the first step is getting clear on, like, you actually, like, who are you? What is your mission in the world? What do you care about? I absolutely love online business. I love it. Like, if I'm not being paid for it in my free time, I'm talking about it with my friends. I'm thinking about it. I'm reading about it. I'm listening to podcasts about it. I absolutely love it. It's a thing that I am meant to do. It's the problems that I love solving for myself and my clients. And that's the first kind of piece, is like, okay, it's the thing I want to do. Now, before, when I was in fitness coaching, I was trying to solve really basic problems for, without being disrespectful, really basic people. I was telling people, hey, eat this food, go to the gym, don't drink too much alcohol on a Saturday. But that's so far removed from me and who I am that I was just living in a completely different reality from these people. And it's not that I'm above them in any sense, but I was just completely disconnected. I was experiencing reality here, they were experiencing it here, and there was zero excitement or fulfillment in me telling people don't drink too much alcohol at the weekend. Because I don't value alcohol, I don't value pissing my weekends away. I'm trying to build my future, I'm trying to build my business. So there was a massive disconnect, and I used to really struggle to actually sell solutions to these people because I really didn't care about the problem. I really didn't care about, you know, trying to eat less junk food and eat less alcohol. It's just not me. It's not what I do. I don't find much fulfillment in kind of showing people that way. I used to love working with clients who were like high level, who would train really hard, who wanted feedback, who wanted to discuss nutrient timing and discuss how they could become stronger and how they could optimize sleep. I love those kind of clients, the people who were all in, the people who took things seriously, the people like me. But it took me a long time to find that. So that's the first thing. You need to find the problem that you're going to solve. You need to be clear on the person who you solve that problem for. You need to make sure that it's something you want to do. You're not just doing it for the money or anything else, because that is a fast track to an unfulfilled business and a poor performing business as well, because you're just not going to give it, you know, the time and the energy. Effectively, you're never going to compete with somebody who absolutely loves what they do. You just won't, because they will get up with hunger and desire to do the work all the time because they love the work, not because of anything else. Whereas if you're having to hustle your way through and make yourself do it, you're just never going to keep up, especially in the long term. So that's the first thing. It's like, what is the problem that I'm solving? And if you're just selling, here's a recipe book, or here's an ebook, or here's a free 12-week program, or here's a paid 12-week program, and you're not solving specific problems, you're never going to be able to solve or sell these solutions at scale, because they're not specific enough and they don't solve the problem. So one example of this might be if you're a strength and conditioning coach and you're solving a problem. Instead of selling a 6-week strength and conditioning plan, you might sell the 6-week athlete accelerator program, which is designed to get athletes back to running full speed on the pitch after a hamstring tear in 6 weeks, right? So it's very, very specific. It's like if you are an athlete who has experienced a hamstring tear and you want to get back to full performance in 6 weeks, I have this product that solves this problem. But unless I'm speaking to the problem, people are not going to buy. And unless I can clearly articulate the value, people are not going to buy. And the reason I'm starting with this, by the way, is there's no point in building a big, elaborate sales process and funnel and landing pages with some product that people don't even want, because you're never going to make automated sales if you can't make them manually, right? So that is the first step, getting clear, making sure that you're solving a problem that people actually want solved. So you have to get clear on that. Now, once you're clear, how do we actually know that people want that problem solved? How do we know it's the right problem to solve? And that's the second part. The second part is we actually have to prove the concept and sell the thing that you want to automate long term. And the best and fastest way to do that is organically and manually through actually reaching out and making offers to people. So if you're in the online coaching space, good chance you're using Instagram, right? It's a platform we've probably all used. If not, you're probably doing some sort of outreach and conversations on LinkedIn or somewhere else like that. But you know that anytime you had a sale, you had a conversation with somebody first. Nobody just like DM'd you and was like, hey, send me the payment link and I'll sign up. There was some sort of conversation, maybe over and back in the DMs, you explained what you could do for them, what you could help them with, what the length of time was, here's my 12-week program, here's the pricing, maybe there's more than one option available. There was a conversation. And then that person saw what you had to offer and they said yes or no, and they made a decision and they proved, they validated or they did not validate that offer and the thing that you wanted to sell. So it's really, really simple. If we have a solution and a problem that we want to solve, we then need to actually put that solution out into the marketplace and actually test it against the people who we think want to buy it and then wait for their feedback. And we may have to do this multiple times. So I have lots of clients that I work with and they're going through this process right now where we're testing small offers and they launch an offer, they get 2 sales, they launch an offer, they get 3 sales, they launch an offer, they get another couple of sales, and then boom, they launch an offer and they get like 8 sales, right? And so there's a clear winner here where, okay, hang on, this offer is really performing well, people really want this. This is probably the one that we're going to put into an automated system to sell. Now, it can take some time and we don't want to just get one sale and then decide that that is validated. So there can be a few steps to this process and it really comes down to how you want to do it. But I would firstly validate this offer with a call, because on a call I can actually have a conversation with somebody. So say for example, we use the example of my strength and conditioning coach, and the problem we're solving is unable to train and unable to run at full speed due to a hamstring tear. And there's a big game coming up in 6 weeks, or they want to be back in season in the next 6 weeks. Now, if I talk about that in social media, maybe people will buy. But if I actually have 5 conversations with athletes who have or have previously had hamstring injuries, and I talk to them about this solution, and I talk to them about how it works, I'll be able to get a lot more feedback, and I'll be able to point out what's good and bad in that offer and actually work with that offer and change it and change the framing if I need to, or handle any objections in the offer. Maybe people are like, that sounds good, but it doesn't work. What if it doesn't work? And then we can actually handle that objection by just explaining, well, look, here are my client case studies or testimonials, or here's the research that actually shows this protocol works, right? So we may actually have to back that up. Once we've proven it with calls, say we've had 3 or 5 calls, and out of that we've had a 60% sign up, and we've proven the concept. Okay, 60% of the people who get on the phone with me buy the thing. That means it's solid, it's a decent offer. People actually see the value in buying the offer. We should probably also test it without calls, because to make automated sales, we can't actually take a sales call, because that actually means we have to be there on the call. So if we want to make automated sales, we also have to test making that sale off a call. And that's more difficult. And for me at the moment, if I'm sending like a sales page or a document page to people, I'm probably only getting a 10% close rate on that. So it's a lot lower. Whereas on a call, it's more like a 60, 70% close rate. So if I send 10 documents, I might only get 1 client or 2 clients. If I have 10 sales calls, I'll get 6 or 7 clients. So there's a big difference there. And it's simply because on a call, you can actually dive deeper with people. You can really, position the solution as the thing that they need. Whereas with a document or a sales page or something like that you just send to them and say, hey, here's the thing, there's the link, if you want it, buy. Firstly, they don't have to make a decision there and then. And secondly, there's no real kind of pressure for them to do it. Now, this will be the case when somebody lands on an automated sales page. And so if you want to make automatic sales while you sleep in the future, you actually have to prove the concept of being able to make these sales without calls. So that is the next thing. We then need to actually prove this by sending out documents. And I had one offer. It was a small offer for a bunch of trainings, actually the same one that I made the sale on yesterday. And that offer is basically the one that 7 people bought. It was a really popular offer. I launched it, 7 people bought it, €49 offer. You can go and check it out. If you join the link in my bio on Instagram, by the way, I'll make you the offer. You don't have to buy it, but if you hit the link in my bio, you'll automatically join my email list, and I'll actually make you that offer so you can see how it works, and you can go and see what I'm selling for €49 and then how I'm actually structuring that. But basically, if that offer is closing and I can see that people want this, they're buying it without sales calls, I know that it's actually now ready to automate. Now, just bear in mind, this can take a lot of time. You might take 6 months to test different offers. And if your offer building is not good, if you're not good at building offers, you could be testing offers for 6 years and none of them will work, right? So it's not just testing, it's also getting really good at creating offers, really good at understanding human psychology, really good at understanding the wants and needs and desires of your target market, and then also having a really good solution that's better than what other people have that actually solves the problem in the time that you say you will solve the problem in. So there's a lot to this behind the scenes. But once we've actually proven that concept with document, then we can take this and whatever the offer is, so let's say I prove the concept by sending a PDF document in Instagram or a Word document, or not a Word, a Google Drive doc, because you can't link a PDF in Instagram. But I could send a PDF in WhatsApp, or I could send the link to a Google Drive document in Instagram with all the details, basically a sales page. This is the problem we solve. This is how we do it. This is how much money it is. This is the opportunity to join. Here's the link if you want it, make the payment. And we send that out to a bunch of people who are a good fit for the program. If we're getting consistent sales from that document and we're happy that it's closing pretty well, then we can actually turn that into a sales page. So again, most people are like, what do I need? Like, is it Shopify? Is it a landing page? Is it just a document? None of that matters. If the offer is good, you can pretty much automate it in any way that you want. And that's not the important thing. All the stuff we just talked about is important. Now, before I go on, I talked about a ton of stuff there. And this is deep stuff. Like, you really need to understand your target market. You need to really understand the offer that you're building. You need to really understand how to improve it, how to deliver results. There's a lot in that. So if you need some help with that, I do this every day. You can probably tell, but I absolutely love this. I eat, sleep, and breathe online business. I'm in this game for the rest of my life. Like, I absolutely love it. And my whole goal is for my clients and my community to just make a shitload of money, have an incredible life, and be in a community of like-minded individuals and enjoy that experience as well. So if that sounds interesting, if you sound like somebody who would vibe with that, feel free to reach out, drop me a message. I'll just tell you more about it, or I'll even maybe send you something free to help you on the next step. But once all of that stuff is kind of clear, then we can actually build a funnel. And we can build a really simple funnel. So yesterday's sale, which I started this video with, came through a really simple funnel. It's essentially my email list. So in my bio, like I mentioned, you can go and join that and actually see this, the entire process for yourself. And I'll make you the offer. You don't even have to buy it, but I'll make you the offer in the emails. Effectively, when someone hits the link in my bio, they can join that email list. When they join the email list, and I will send people there either organically, or I could send them there through paid traffic as well. But organically is how I'm using it right now. I send people to that list. Within that list, there's an automated email sequence. And over the first few days, people are welcomed, and then they're presented with the offer, which I have already proven that converts well, that solves a specific problem for my clients. So the offer in question that I have sold is what's called the Influential Content Code. It's a 3-part bundle of trainings covering personal branding, marketing, and then actually putting together those 2 messages. So your personal branding message, which is kind of you, the person who's delivering the message, and then the marketing message, which is, you know, the actual marketing that goes alongside the program that you sell, and how to tie those 2 together. And the final training ties them together and puts them into a content plan. And it basically gives you all of the stuff you need to make insane content that brings in inbound leads and sales every single week in 20 minutes a day. And it's really easy. You're not having to like spend tons of time editing videos or anything like that. It's like proper marketing. It's not like content creation gimmicks or tactics or nonsense. It's actually deep marketing psychology to create content that converts. And that, you know, does really well, because lots of coaches are just posting into the void. They're just posting random stuff and tips, and here's, you know, 3 foods that are high in protein and all this stuff. And it feels like they're just not getting any sales, because this is not marketing. It's just noise that actually dilutes their message. So the offer that I have solves a really specific and painful problem, because it's frustrating when you're a coach and you're like posting a ton and people are just like, you know, they don't want to work with you. So it solves that problem. Now, once you've gone through the email sequence, so back to how the funnel actually works, you join the email list, you get made the offer over a course of a few days, then you get presented the sales page for the offer. So the first few emails explains all of the marketing psychology stuff that people need to hear and need to understand in order to buy the product. And then they get made the offer, and they get sent the sales page where they can click through and they can buy the offer. And the next step of this, of course, is I now have somebody who's come into my world. They've bought something from me. They've shown that they have high intent. They've shown that they're somebody who's they're serious about solving the problem that they have. They're not a time waster. And so now I can go and choose to spend more time with that person. I can take a call with them. I can spend more time. And that's effectively how it works. But all of the work in creating an automated product that sells is not done in the technology and the setup and the funnel. It's done in the psychology and the problem solving and the understanding that comes up behind it. And if you do those 3 things, you will have no problem making automated sales and waking up to notifications in Stripe and Kit and all these other softwares to money in the bank while you sleep.